Alright guys, so first we're going to remove the intercooler. This is a pretty simple task. You should just need a 12mm socket. I'm using this on like a little impact gun. You'll need a flathead screwdriver for the throttle body to intercooler mount, and also just a pair of good pliers. I'm just using lineman pliers just because they're pretty fat and it makes it pretty easy to get the little clamp off. But let's get to it. First two bolts we're going to do is right from the turbo compressor housing. So we're going to undo those two on the intercooler. Take those bolts, set them aside. Next, we're going to get the top bolt on the intercooler undone. That's another 12mm socket. There's like a little flange, so this is kind of this little area that bolts onto the intake manifold. These bolts are going to be smaller in depth. Now you can go ahead and remove this bracket, unclipping this hose right here that goes to the brake master cylinder. That's just a little vacuum line. Take that bracket and move that out of the way. Next, we'll go ahead and grab our pliers that we were talking about earlier. We'll just take those right on the bypass valve. There is just this little clamp, so we're just gonna clamp down on the top of that, clamp it down, and we can pull that off. Down right here in between the intercooler and the throttle body is your throttle body to intercooler hose. This is a major problem on Subarus 2008 through 2014. If your car does not feel like it has power, go ahead and take a look at my how to fix a boost leak video. But this is the hose that you're going to want to really pay attention to. A lot of time you may have oil buildup underneath it. That's going to indicate that you have a boost leak. Also, this hose can be blown out. Now I have a Mishimoto replacement aftermarket hose which helps out that problem tremendously. But anyways, let's go ahead and undo the clamp right here, and that's going to be our last little thing we have to undo before this will come off. Okay, so that is all loosened up. We'll go ahead and kind of pop that off and see if we can't get the intercooler to pop right off here. There it is. Oh, forgot one little hose right here to the bypass valve. So go ahead and make sure to take that off as well. All right guys, so now the intercooler is off. We're gonna go ahead and try to gold wrap this intercooler. All right guys, so there it is. There is the actual wrap itself. Let's go ahead and open it up. They also sell a lot of other products that are like heat related and whatnot, and see what we get. So this should just be a big piece of the gold wrap. So as you can see there, it's a nice big piece of the gold wrap. The idea is that I'm gonna take this gold and carefully, I'm gonna try to wrap it around all these areas. These areas right here are like ridged and whatnot, so I'm gonna have to take an X-Acto blade and probably like cut each one of these areas out in like a square, or maybe I can cut like a nice strip that I can inlay in there, and basically kind of just do that to each one of these little areas. Hopefully that'll make it look good. So we'll just start with the top, and I mean the sides or whatnot, the top and bottom little area, the front and back I guess you would call it. We'll start with those little areas. What I'm gonna do first though is I'm gonna wipe this thing down with some rubbing alcohol, kind of clean it up, that way I can make sure I get good adhesion. What we're gonna do is right up here at the top. So I kind of just want to, I mean, this looks overall like a pretty good little area that I can do. So we'll just cut this portion out. I want it to wrap around the sides just a little bit, just where any of this fin stuff is. You know, obviously not any of the coil parts. Got to straighten some of these out too. They got kind of a little bit messed up, I guess, last time the intercooler was installed. Some nice sharp scissors too. These are some these are actually electrician scissors. So that is gonna be my first little area. So we will try to lay this down. I'm gonna apply this right on the front here, making sure I have kind of a nice clean edge going on. And I'm just gonna press that on there. Now taking my X-Acto blade, I'm just gonna kind of clean up the areas around the corners real quick. just with a quick slice of that, should be able to make that turn. Now I'm going to make the first bend up at the top, so I'm just working it slowly into place. Slow and just trying to build up areas and cleanly do little cuts to make this look uniformed good. So I'm making progress piece by piece, but I'm literally just cutting each piece in here and just inlaying it with the X-Acto blade. So I've been working on this for quite a while, so you have to do like little pieces in between this grid area. If you have like an STI intercooler, this is going to be so much easier because you're not going to have this. It's just going to be like the sides here, which are super easy. I mean, this part goes really quick on the side, so it looks pretty damn good so far. Like I said, I just got to finish up this bottom, and then I got to work on this side too. So overall, it's looking pretty good so far, so I just got to keep on going. Using the X-Acto blade, I used a little bit of this just to apply this down. This is just what I used to apply stickers with. I got it with some vinyl wrap stuff that I bought one time. I was able to pretty much do lots and lots of little cuts to get in these fine grooved areas. It was pretty difficult to actually get it all in there, so I cut out like little squares and then wrapped it all around. But overall, I think it looks really good. You know, like I said, I did run out of wrap right here at the top, so I'm probably just gonna finish that up when I buy some more. I think I'm gonna get tape next time. The big pieces were nice for some of these flat areas. You know, if you had like a STI intercooler or aftermarket intercooler where it's basically just a square or rectangle, this stuff would work really, really well for you. So overall, I really like the way it applies. It went on very easily. It came on smooth, and I think overall it looks really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this put back onto the car. Another thing that I did notice too is I actually have way less oil in here than before, than last time when I pulled it off. I don't know if that was just due to the boost leak that I had a ton more blow by, but the intercooler is actually very clean this time, so that's kind of interesting. So with your intercooler all gold wrapped up, looking nice and fresh, now you can go ahead and put that back into the car. So when you have that off, you want to make sure you have a rag in the turbo outlet. That way, you know, you're making sure that nothing gets in there. I like to just have the throttle body connected to the throttle body intercooler hose first, and then just wiggle this thing on there. Actually going on decently this time, which the first time I installed this, it was a real pain. Now when installing this throttle body to intercooler hose back on the car, you need to make sure that you have firm pressure on the intercooler itself. Also, you want to reach underneath the intercooler and just make sure that it's making contact all the way around all of the edges. You don't want to have any sort of boost leaks. That's going to lead to loss in power, major loss in power, and extra little noises you don't want to hear. So you want to make sure you have that all lined up nice. Like I said, good firm pressure on it, and tightened the hose clamp. I will say on the Mishimoto one, it is a kind of a pain in the ass to get on here, but once you get it on here, it's a really good clamp, well, a really good hose. Doesn't leak. Let you get lots of boosties. Okay. After you tighten it up, you want to double check and make sure that you have a good, solid connection on there. Also, I recommend to actually take the intercooler, kind of just pull on it, you know, make sure that you do have a nice, good, tight connection, and that you're free of boost leaks. After you tighten it up, you want to double check and make sure that you have a good solid connection on there. Also, I recommend to actually take the intercooler, kind of just pull on it, you know, make sure that you do have a nice, good, tight connection, and that you're free of boost leaks. After that, you want to go ahead and grab your little bracket. This is still going to go in the same direction you kind of had it before. It goes like this, where one bolt goes here. That's going to go to the back, so you want to kind of just weave that underneath. Go ahead and click your hose back in there for your vacuum connection. This is going to go underneath the rear spot of the intercooler. Now we're just going to go ahead and grab those bolts, and remember those were the short ones for the front. You want to grab those, just lightly, finger tight, thread these in here. There is a little bit of adjustment when you reinstall this, so that's going to help quite a bit. So now those two bolts on the turbo outlet side, just take these, like I said before, just hand thread those in there. You do not want to strip out these bolts going into your turbo. It is an aluminum housing, and aluminum strips out very easily. So you can just do that, then take your socket, then kind of just finger tight that all on. Go back over to the other side. Now you can kind of just tighten these things down a little bit. That way you know you have everything nice and lined up properly. I'm gonna go ahead and torque these down now. Okay, get those on there nice and snug. That way we don't have any sort of boost leaks. Looks like the gasket is good there. So let's tighten down that top mounting point. And that's nice and snug. Now we'll tighten down these two little spots on that brace. We have the little vacuum line. Go ahead and plug that back in. Guys, so the intercooler is installed back onto the car. If you're wondering on that Mishimoto kind of see, you can kind of see like the label on it, Mishimoto lifetime warranty. That's basically like at the top, so you know that's kind of a good idea of how it looks for you guys. At least it looks awesome, if anything. So I mean, just doing it, you know, I think, I don't know, it was like 35, 40 bucks. I can't remember now. It's been a while since I bought this stuff, but you know, it's not that bad of a price. Still like to do the intake tube area right here, wrap this up. I'd like to seal up the box a little bit more and do some gold reflective tape around that too. Also possibly just a little bit of reflection stuff on the back side of the intake manifold wouldn't be a bad idea either. Since the MAF sensor in the airbox is where it actually reads the incoming intake temperatures, you won't really notice a difference as far as the intake temperatures go. What you might notice though is that you're gonna receive less heat soak. That intercooler is gonna cool off faster, and you should have a more responsive car. Alright guys, so that's pretty much all of it for doing the install of this. I hope you guys kind of got an idea of what I did and how I did it. Overall time wise, I think it took, gosh, it probably took a little over 2 hours. My neck is pretty damn sore because I was just looking at that thing like this for a long time. So there's that, you got to think about that. It definitely looks cool. We'll see if it makes a performance difference. I know that it should definitely reflect that heat out of there, and you know, a little bit is gonna, you know, a little bit of something is gonna be better than nothing really. So thanks for watching the video guys. Hope you like it. Please like or subscribe or share this video if you like this video. That way more people can know about it, and we'll talk to you later guys. Peace out.